They will say you changed, you became cold, distant, rude, even mean. And yes, mean. But here is the truth nobody wants to admit. The more you're healed, the more you become less tolerant to whoever was used to break you in the past. And to the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries, you don't have no tolerance for these people anymore. Your healing will always feel like cruelty to other people who were using you in the past. That was good for them because they were benefiting out of that.
Old souls get meaner when they heal. Letting your friends dump all their trauma on you while you play the unpaid therapist. Letting the guy you're dating snap at you and you not saying anything because he's stressed out. You always being the bigger person and letting everything slide. All of that behavior is wrapped up in your survival self. That means when you start coming out of survival, you actually will feel more rage. You'll feel more anger because fear is no longer running the show. And with that comes a very short bandwidth for BS. You physically can't not speak up anymore. If someone disrespects you, you no longer have a smile on your face letting it slide. You'll start calling them out in a direct way, or you'll just walk away. You'll no longer just see people's potential. In fact, you'll start looking at their shadow side. You'll look at the worst parts of them and ask yourself, am I willing to put up with this? You're no longer wondering if you're too much and you just vocalize your needs. And if people can't meet them, adios, amigos. You'll start showing up online in a 10 million times bolder way. You'll stop just posting stuff that's all love and light just to keep the peace and not rock the boat. And the reason this is initially so uncomfortable for old souls is because you're terrified of hurting other people's feelings. Because you've been on the receiver side of being abandoned, neglected, criticized your entire life. And so as a trauma response, we take on this role of being a guardian angel for everyone and everything. But playing the peacekeeper and the caretaker our entire lives only leads us to get physically sick and full of resentment. Because you didn't come here to survive, you came here to build empires and impact the masses. What you'll find is you being mean is actually being loving. Calling people out for their allowing them to rise to a higher standard, and it's protecting your energy so you can actually make the impact that your soul came here to make. Being meaner means you're healed and more authentic, and from there you can quantum leap your impact and income, period.
The more you level up, the harder it's going to be for you to tolerate people stuck in their drama. And it's not you being judgmental, it's your nervous system rejecting that poison. Let me break it down. When you heal, it literally rewires the neural pathways in your brain. So instead of craving drama, chaos, a victim mentality, or anything you used to, you start being attracted to growth and peace and calm. And all of the negative things feel like nails on a chalkboard to you because the frequency and wavelength that unhealed people are on literally clashes with yours. You on this next level of Wi-Fi and they still on dial-up. And I used to be that person because all I would talk about is my trauma and what I went through as a child and trauma bond and trauma dump with people and blaming the world and accepting that victim's mentality. But now, unless it's a client that is actively paying me to help them, I don't sit around and listen to people gossip all day. Even from family, I'm just like, man, I don't belong here anymore. And it's not being elitist. It's not that you're better than anyone. It's just that you're in your evolution. You're moved on to a new space. But that can cause people to say that you've changed up or cause you to feel guilty about it. Here's what I would do if I was in that situation to not feel that guilt. Number one, I would set energy boundaries. I have people that I really love in my life, but when they start getting into that complaining and victim's mentality and not trying to find solutions, I'll tell them, hey, if you coming to me, come with me knowing that I'm going to give you the real truth and give you solutions. If not, I'm not on the venting stuff today. The second thing you can do is check the vibes. Ask yourself, is this interaction draining me or helping me to expand or helping me to grow? If it's not, exit. And the one other trick that I learned from one of my mentors was called bless and release. It's like a compassionate detachment where you wish them well from afar. You are not their savior. Do not shrink yourself to fit into someone else's small world. Your peace isn't negotiable and your growth isn't selfish. Outgrowing people that live in spaces you no longer want to be in is not a loss. That's leveling up. If you need a roadmap on how to rewire your brain and so that you can be in that space and level up, tap the link in my profile and download my guide,
If somebody calls you mean after you have healed, you start to ask yourself, did I really become mean, or did I just stop being convenient for other people and stop being available for them because my peace worth a lot? Healing forces you to stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. And that is the good part, that is the fun part. That is not mean, that is emotional maturity. And if other people cannot respect it, well, the door is wide open.
Stop being nice and respectful to motherfuckers that have hurt you. If somebody has done you wrong, they slept with your man, they've abused you, they've taken money from you, they've said mean things to you, you are not obligated to talk to nobody ever. You don't owe anybody courtesy or politeness. Really wish that mindset of being nice and sweet to people and just apologizing to save face, I wish we would stop that, because you've already shown me exactly who you are, and I'm good. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Healed people, they become peacefully savage. They don't write paragraphs, you know. They write you off. One time, you are gone. They don't do the long talking thing. Peacefully savage with it. You got silently assassinated with a silencer gun. Gone. Writing you off. Nothing you can say or do. You can't even come back. Sorries are not gonna work. Nothing. Once they make the decisions, that's it. Finished. You're gone. That's why I call them peacefully savage. There's nothing you can say or do. They just write your claw off. Do you understand? Because peace means the most to them. Peace is like, I can't explain it, man. It's like dessert to them. Peace is like everything, man. It's the air they breathe. I'm telling you. Trust me. They've done all the paragraph chatting. They've done all the long sentences and all this longness or trying to overthink something. And they realize one thing we all realize in the end, it don't really mean shit. So sometimes you just sit there and say, you know what? I'm not even going to say nothing. Let me not say nothing. Let me just take my stuff and let me bounce. Trust me, if I'm lying.
The unhealed you believed a lot of words that made no sense. The healed you watched behavior only. And when you stop getting hypnotized by people's potential, they call you mean because they cannot sell you drama anymore. They cannot get into this with you. Healing moves and removes delusion. And when you see clearly, you stop entertaining nonsense. And you just don't justify your own boundaries. You do not explain why you left. You just go. You do not write paragraphs, long text. You just say, okay, I think we are not aligning and that's kind of turning me off. So I don't want to talk again. And you mean it. It's not like you take the side or you just don't want to. No, it's just deeply you mean it because you healed and what they're doing is not aligning with you.
Okay, so I saw this post that said the healed version of yourself is meaner. And it had me like this. Because what I have learned is that protecting your peace does not make you meaner. It makes you aware. It makes you start realizing that everything does not deserve your energy. So what we have to normalize what healthy boundaries look like, okay? It's okay to say no. It's okay to walk away. And it's okay to choose peace over pleasing people. The healed version of you isn't mean. You're just finally at peace with putting yourself first. So no, healing does not make you meaner.
The meaner you become, the kinder you actually get. And by mean, I'm talking about the kind where you say no to things and you don't feel selfish. You become unapologetic about caring for yourself, protecting your peace, and doing what is in your highest good. And while some people might think that's mean because you will turn down invitations or you put boundaries in place in relationships where someone has taken you for granted or taken advantage of you, and those boundaries are received or interpreted as being mean. That kind of meanness is so incredibly healthy for you because it means that you're simultaneously being kinder to yourself. And the kinder you are to yourself, the easier it is to enforce those boundaries, to say no. And you are also becoming kinder and kinder to other people. When people are nice and they say yes a lot to other people, what they actually do is stretch themselves thinner and thinner and thinner like a rubber band, and they snap, and then they become vicious and mean because they are too busy trying to be nice and people please. So in order to have a healthier relationship with yourself, to protect your peace, you need to be mean.
You know what I want to say is that healed women do not answer every call, even though they know that they are on good terms with other people. They just know that their time worth a lot, and they just do not have to explain every plan or every move, even though they like the people they're talking to. They do not jump when somebody needs them because they are finally giving that energy to themselves. Like, I won't be giving you my time if I know I need my time. Okay, and in any way you would need your time because that's your only one life. That's your shot. You go ahead and go with it. And when you're healed, you stop letting other people dump on you. You stop being the therapist friend. And I'm a big on this one because you are not carrying nobody's else emotional garbage anymore. And they call you mean because they cannot upload and unload on you anymore of their ish and drama.
When someone finally crosses that line, and now I've got to be the meanest person they've ever met. And it's unfortunate for them because honestly, I enjoy being mean to someone when they've already been mean to me. And people will say, be the bigger person. And honestly, I don't think that's possible, if you know what I mean. I mean, honestly, if they go low, I'm going to go lower. And you can't blame me. If you come to me and you're being mean, I am going to end it. I'm going to be so mean. I'm going to take it a little too far. And I'm going to make sure that you never do that again. I might feel a little guilty later. Who am I kidding? I'm not going to feel guilty at all. And they want you to feel bad about it afterwards too. Like, they're not the ones that started it, okay? I was just retaliating against what you've already done. They're the ones that finally crossed that line. That line is right in front of them, and they just walk over it. Even if they just put one finger over that line, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready at any time. Anytime. Everybody knows when they've crossed the line, and they know when they take it too far. They can't blame anyone but themselves. If they're going to do that, they had it coming. And they can't act surprised and then cry wolf. Okay? No one's coming to help you.
The healed version of you is a lot meaner than the unhealed version of you. The healed version of you is a lot meaner than the unhealed version of you because you don't just take what everybody's trying to give you.
Nobody talks about the angry stage of healing. The rage felt when you realize how much and for how long you were taken advantage of. The absolute disgust towards people who misled, harmed, or abused you.
Okay, this is exactly what happens when you realize how long you've been living in like disassociation, disembodiment, and trauma. You get rage and you start to feel so much injustice in your life, a lot of anger. A lot of people get afraid of this, but this is actually the most exciting thing. So hold on to it, ride it out. Rage and anger are the emotions that are on our side. They're also the ones that we were taught to suppress the most, especially if you identify as female. But we're also taught to dissociate from our bodies, to dismiss our needs, to not pay attention to what's going on here because someone or something else is telling us what we need to do. So when we start to undo that, we recognize all the times we've abandoned ourselves. And then we start to get angry again because it's like, so when you do this work, you lean into the rage and then you actually use that as a way to keep motivating yourself. Because nothing motivates us to get on our own side than the rage and the anger of being dismissed and told to disconnect and abandon ourselves by everyone else in the systems of this world.
Imagine being so unapologetic about the way you think and feel that people who want you to shrink label you as being mean. Because you choosing to live for yourself and not trying to accommodate everyone else and their feelings will trigger people who are ready and willing to take advantage of a lack of boundaries. This is your reminder to embrace your villain era.
People will talk. They always talk louder when they lose that version of you they could have took advantage of. But here's the truth. Healing does not make you mean. It just makes you and makes your standards visible, way, way more visible to people. And the people who cannot meet those standards will always interpret your growth as cruelty. Let them. You're not here to babysit anybody's comfort zone. You're here to build a life that finally honors your peace, your boundaries, and your own worth. If being healed makes you mean to the wrong people, then trust me, you're healing correctly.
Let's talk about how people get mad when you start healing. A lot of relationships, I don't care if it's friend, family, are built on shared wounds. When you were broken, codependent, always needing them, that felt comfortable to them. But healing shifts that dynamic. So y'all could have been trauma dumping together, all on the phone, trauma dumping, but now you're starting to heal, self-heal, and you don't care about anymore. And now all of a sudden you're acting funny, or you're doing too much just because you don't want to deal with that same shit. Sometimes people benefit from you being small. Let's be real. Some people like that you didn't know your worth, because they definitely knew your worth, but they just didn't want you to know your worth. You are easy to control, manipulate, and overshadow when you're playing small. Growth highlight their stagnancy. Healing is a mirror. Glow up makes them feel uncomfortable with their own lack of growth. Instead of them just growing up just like you are, they get mad at you. Not that they hate you. They hate the version that they see of themselves when standing next to you now. They can simply don't know how to connect with the new you. Used to bonding over complaining, low vibe, most importantly, pain. Now you're high vibrational, peaceful, especially unbothered, and they don't know how to relate. Sometimes they low-key love feeling superior to you. People only kept you around because you made them feel better about themselves. You start elevating, that's when you start to feel threatened. Because now you're either on equal ground with them or you're surpassing them. Last but not least, they can't guilt trip or manipulate you anymore. Healing gives you clarity. That's why I always tell people heal. It's a beautiful thing to heal. Emotional intelligence is a lot of people claim they have empathy and emotional intelligence, but they really don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't treat people like shit or try to manipulate. Only the people that really have emotional intelligence and real empathy understand that things that you say and you do can make somebody feel a certain type of way or hurt somebody's feelings. The people are used to weaponizing guilt, violence, manipulation, even chaos to control you. It no longer works once you heal up. Ooh, they lash out. So what I feel like you should do with this type of person, cut them off. I don't care what it is. Cousin, brother, sister, dog, cat, auntie, grandma. Cut them off. If they rather see the unhealed version of you and not the healed version, they feel triggered because you have healed and grown up. It's so crazy because y'all talk about the people and what they're going through and their unhealed versions. You talk about them like a dog, but as soon as they heal up, you still talk about them. That's why I tell people I don't care what they are to you. If they are doing you like that, they don't love you. The best thing that you can do to protect your peace and yourself from going back to what you used to be is to cut fuckers off. Period.